Welcome to the John 3:16 Stories of Hope podcast, where we talk to people who have overcome addiction and alcoholism at John 3:16 Ministries. I'm your host, Lisa Fisher. Now let's hear another inspiring story from a resident or graduate of John 3:16 Ministries. Hi, everybody. We're launching a new podcast for John 3:16 Ministries. It is my privilege to get to do this. I'm acquainted with the program because of the founder, Brian Tuggle, high school classmate, kept up with him all these years and watched the tremendous success of this ministry and how powerful it is. In fact, the first person in the hot seat tonight is someone I happen to know too. And Jack Dowden, it's been a thrill getting to watch you go through this. We're recording this in at the end of 2025. Tell me your journey on how you got to John 3:16 Ministries.
Gosh, a long time, a long story full of not great memories. So basically, I started drinking pretty heavily. I mean, I would say late high school, and kind of was a functioning alcoholic all through my early 20s, and then kind of when I got out of like 25, 26 is when it really started to become a problem. Couldn't hold a job, went back to school, was barely crawling through that, and eventually just hit a point. I'd been to several rehabs and had periods of sobriety, but it never stuck, and just had this pit emptiness in me. Nothing could really fill it, and my parents and I knew that I needed something else, and that's when we approached a family friend who told me about John 3:16 and how it had just worked wonders.
But you're the one who pulled the trigger. I mean,
Yes.
your mommy and daddy can't do it for you.
Oh, yeah. No, I was so miserable at the point when I was, because my dad was nice enough to bring me up here. I mean, I was a shell of a person. I mean, there was all ambition gone. I was having trouble. I thought it was a good day if I got up and ate and showered. I mean, that's how low I was. I mean, it was just, I was not capable of holding a job, barely capable of getting to interviews. I mean, and I looked horrible. I mean, people joke here still about how pale I was when I got here. I mean, just not going outside, no friends, no social life whatsoever. It was awful.
So is that a condition of overconsumption of pills, hooch, weed, whatever, or is that the condition of your spirit?
That was definitely the condition of my spirit. For me, alcohol was my thing, and I was just so miserable that the alcohol would numb everything. And it was a vicious cycle of, I had so much shame and guilt of how my life had turned out because you know my backstory. I grew up with a lot of opportunities and basically had just threw them all away and drank them all away. So I had a lot of guilt and a shame, like so much shame for how my life had turned out. And then when I would drink more, that would just make more of that happen, drink more, and it just continually over and over again, making things worse, just digging myself deeper and deeper and until I had no way out. Like I couldn't get myself out of it. I just was stuck in this hole. But
what were you medicating?
I don't know if it's a specific thing. I mean, now after being here, I think it's just I wasn't seeking Jesus. I had no faith. I had no purpose. I mean, and I think I was trying to wrap up my purpose in a job, or I would wrap it up in a relationship, but those things are, worldly and finite. And so once they fall away, you're nothing. And I was having all these things that would fall away and not thinking I wouldn't fall that hard. But when I did, it was just, I was nothing. And so I've been learning here that I was just spiritually bankrupt, essentially. I mean, yeah.
When did you realize, so in the last 2025 is when the light bulb went off for you, realizing you really need the help. But you said late high school, alcohol began to be a problem. When does what's the entrance ramp for it to become, it's fun, you have a few beers with the guys, to, I can't get up in the morning and I don't have a job? What happens in between the two?
So I think with alcohol, because that's my only experience, it's very insidious. It's very slow. So it started off in high school, and probably the first warning sign should have been I was never a beer person. I mean, I was straight whiskey from the beginning. I mean, even my parents, when they would find liquor bottles in my car, they'd be like, "You're not even drinking beer like high schoolers. You're drinking like what 50-year-old sailors drink."
Yeah.
And so that was probably the first red flag. And then I think one big jump was I had a bad breakup later in college. I attended TCU for a while, and I started drinking alone. then. And the drinking
Mm.
alone, which it was just, watching movies, I would still get up in the morning and still didn't think it was a problem. But starting drinking alone was a big jump. And then I can just over the years, it just slowly got less time with friends, less time with family, less really purpose. I mean, it sucked all ambition of anything I wanted to do away. I had a piano and guitar. I used to play that stuff all the time. I mean, you know how involved I was with music. That completely. I mean, there'd be months that I wouldn't play or do anything, and definitely leaving that in college and not really following a passion that I had. I never started another passion. I never found anything else that I was interested in, and I mean, yeah, just had no purpose.
So you skipped beer, went
Oh yeah.
straight to the stuff that, you know, the really hard stuff. But when did the whispers start from family and friends? Like Jack's drinking too much.
I think it was high school. I mean, my mom has even told me, because I think I'm one of the alcoholics that I was just wired that way. It didn't matter. I didn't need a big trauma or anything like that to start it. It's just from the start. Because I think I forgot what my mom told me, but there was something when I was like 13 or 14. I hadn't been drinking yet, but she was like, he's kind of like an addictive personality. So yeah, and so I had that, and I think it was just, it didn't matter what it was, just whatever it was that I found, that was gonna be the problem. So, and it happened to be alcohol for me.
Why do you think you didn't turn to other illegal substances or, well, weed's now legal, but pills, things you
Uh,
snort, everything
I
else?
think for me, because alcohol did the trick. I mean,
So there
in
is
the
a trick. There is something it soothed for a minute.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. For me, it was, or my excuse that I used a lot to justify my drinking was anxiety. I had a lot of social anxiety, which I know sounds weird from, I've been on stage since I was, yeah. But for some reason, like going into a social setting, like theater is very, I know where I'm going, I know what notes to hit, it's controlled. Where going into a social setting is very free and not, I didn't know what was going on and I would get very nervous about that. And so that would kind of it's like the world was at an 11 constantly, and that would turn it down to like an 8. So it still did not feel good. I was still uncomfortable in my own skin, but it made it manageable. So
Actually, Jack, theater, though, is a mask. You're
yeah,
acting.
yeah,
You were somebody else. In a social setting, it was 100% Jack Dowden.
yeah. When I think I was even putting on a mask there too, but it was
Yeah.
jacked out at,
Yeah,
whatever.
the Jack Dowden
Yeah,
mask, whatever you thought the mask was.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your spiritual beginnings and your eyes have been opened in a new way to Jesus. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still very much a babe in Christ. Grew up going to church, never, I mean, knew the stories, but there was no young Jack that was going home and opening his Bible and, but would go to church, do the Christmas stuff and all that. Once I started kind of turning 15, 16, getting a car, sort of getting that independence, I was not going to church at all. And then was basically, I was never an atheist, but as close to agnostic and kind of, I don't know what's going on. And my life was in such shambles by that point, didn't care about what was going on. That was never, didn't occur to me that that was the problem, that my spiritual health was the problem of why I was drinking. I was always, it's anxiety. I need this pill, or I have some repressed trauma that I don't know about. I was going down that route. But since being here, and I kind of started from a very analytical point of view and learning about just kind of the possibilities of, okay, well, this is like I was just reading in Lee Strobel's A Case for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about, he had a Stanford professor calculate the probability of, okay, well, how if Jesus would match all of these things from prophecies in Isaiah? And it was like 1 in a trillion, 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 so I started with that, and then just getting in the word, being around John 3:16 and the Bible studies and diving deeper. We do 3 months of class here. And so just learning more, there's been a peace that has come over me that it doesn't happen all the time, but it's the same soothing that I think I was trying to seek with alcohol, because alcohol was just a temporary fix, but it just feels like I'm kind of settling more into myself. And I don't really have an articulate way to describe it yet, but that's about as far as I've gotten so far. It's just, my eyes have been open and it's working. So I'm just diving deeper into it and seeing where it takes me, because I'm very, I think, stubborn and prideful. And my way has not been working. What I've been doing hasn't gotten me anywhere. So it's about time I surrendered and let someone else take over. And that would be Jesus.
So what was your first day like coming to John 3:16?
Well, you come and you interview on a Sunday, and I had a last hurrah and was like, all right, if I'm going to this
A
place,
bender.
yeah.
Sure.
And so I was shaking, went to detox. I was probably 4 days sober and still just shaking like a leaf. Was exhausted at that point. I was having trouble staying up for 3 hours at a time. I wanted to nap constantly. And even when I would sleep for an hour maybe. And everyone was so nice to me. And I'd forgotten because I packed drunk. And so I forgot pillows. I forgot shampoo. I mean, I think I forgot a toothbrush. And within an hour, all my housemates had gotten me all this stuff from guys down on the next house. There's a Jesus shed that people donate clothes to. And I was just kind of overwhelmed. And they were coming in my room trying to talk to me. And I just remember thinking, I just want to go to sleep. I just want to sleep. But they were being so nice to me. I didn't want to be rude. But it was very overwhelming because there's a lot of structure and discipline here that's good. And people like me, especially when you first come in, the life that I was living, need that. And so it was just kind of try and learn everything, try and get acclimated and, get with the program.
How humbling is it that those people, those guys reached out and loved you and they didn't know Jack Dowden?
It's almost like you're like, okay, what's the catch? Because also, people here they'll tell you, bad past, oh, I was a thief, I was doing this and all that. And now you would never guess some of the stories when people tell you, because I just know them as this loving, nice, generous person. And then out in the world, they were not that. And so it's very, overwhelming was just the main word that I can think of.
How long have you been there now?
4 months. This will be my 4th month.
And so 6 months is the requirement?
Is the minimum. The minimum.
Is the minimum.
Yes. And after being here, I see why. Especially just putting it in a numbers term. If I've been drinking for 15 plus years, 6 months is just a tiny little bit of that. That's not going to solve all the years that I've been digging this behavior. I mean, it's going to take a lot longer than that, but this is a great place to get a foundation to go out in the world and keep living that. And yeah, I think 6 months is a minimum of what you need, at least for someone like me.
So you came on that Sunday.
Yes.
Do your parents, because the families are there. I came on a Sunday.
Yes.
And I saw some new guys coming in to the program and their families were there. So families drop you off. That's it. And there's no contact with your family for how long?
For the first 30 days, for the first month. And my dad brought me and my mom did not bring because my mom was done with, like, completely. We've now salvaged some of our relationship because she even told me last time she visited, she was like, I did not think you were salvageable. And I was like, oh, great. But my dad brought me and it was just kind of a cut off and then don't see, talk, or hear from them for 30 days. Yeah.
They needed the break more than you did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And,
they were sick of me.
Not just the Dowdens, but the Smiths and the Jones and the Morrisons, whoever. If you've ever had addiction in your family, and I have, the addict or alcoholic is sick and tired of being sick and tired, but the family is really, because the family's been sober through this and they remember everything. At least the alcoholic, you've kind of blacked out some of the things that happened.
Yeah. Well, and when we're in that state, we're so selfish and self-centered that we're not even thinking about, or if we do, we don't care. Or we're in so much pain that we're not even aware of it. And that's actually, when people graduate, their family member comes up and speaks. That's what's gotten me misty-eyed a lot, is hearing sisters and mothers and being like, oh, I finally have my son back. I finally have my sister back. And just hearing, they're sobbing up on stage. And it's a good guilt, but it's like, I need to hear those things because I don't think I've considered, in my situation, I don't think I've considered my family's feelings as much as I should have. I was aware they were not happy with me. I was aware that my lifestyle was hurting them, but not to the extent that it was. I don't think I fully grasped that until being clear-minded and sober-minded.
Those 30 days without your mom and dad, that the longest you'd ever been without contact, or had you had times of estrangement from your family?
Not so much estrangement as me pushing them away. I was when I had gotten really bad, I was very much an isolated drinker. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And so my dad has always kind of been the one that was like, let's go to lunch. Let's go, trying to just kind of like, hey, like, get your life going. And there would just be times that I would, or send like 1-word text or something, just like, please don't talk to me. And I think I snapped at my mom one time when I was drunk and was just like, leave me alone. And that's when she's like, all right, I'm done. Like, he wants me to leave him alone. I'm going to leave him alone. And I mean, that was probably a year and a half of, I would see her, but it was very, she would look at me with kind of just disappointment and disgust. And it was very cordial, I guess. It was like we were strangers a little bit. But then, so the only time I would see her were, Easter, Christmas. Like I wasn't going over there for family dinners, and I lived 10 minutes away. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Did it make you want to go hit the bottle, or did it make you want to turn your life around and get right?
Oh, at that point, hit the bottle.
Hit the bottle.
Yeah. All I wanted to do, my day was constantly, how do I get home, be away from people, and find a way to drink? Or how do I get money to drink?
To drink some more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a criminal past from this? DWIs, run-ins with the law?
That is a lot of the graces of God that I've received that I look back on. I said this the other day actually, we were in here trying to find wires and set this up. I think in the past 3 years, I can maybe count on my hand, maybe 5 times that I was sober driving.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So
okay.
there have been a lot of it's a miracle I didn't wreck. I've never been in a wreck, didn't kill anyone, didn't get a DUI. I mean, I should probably not have a license or,
Yeah.
So.
And the statute of limitations has run out on just the fact that you may have been drinking and driving. I mean, no one would. Yeah, I mean, but think about it. Everyone listening to this has been probably been in the car on the road today. There could have been a Jack Dowden on the other side of the highway, or it just because impairment is a common thing with drivers. That's what makes those of us very nervous about medical marijuana and the permissiveness now of so much marijuana in the cars that when they open the car door, the Kroger, we're getting a secondhand high, and I'm thinking they're driving on the road that I'm on.
Yeah. Well, not even if I'm not swerving, just like those couple milliseconds, if I'm driving through a neighborhood and a kid runs out or something, I mean, those seconds can be precious, and it's
right.
It's very scary to think about.
Why do you think you didn't turn to the harder stuff? Because that was like criminal behavior to you, and this was still acceptable?
I think so, maybe. I also, I had taken some pain pills when I got my wisdom teeth out and hated them. So I never had, I was also, again, didn't have a job, so almost never any money. So
then there's that. Yeah.
Couldn't afford Coke but I just, and like I said, alcohol was working for me. I mean, that's the sad truth of addiction. It's like, it was working for something. It's just, as it tears apart your life, it helps this one thing, and it's temporary. And then you feel so much worse after.
And the thing about alcohol is it's the happy juice people drink to celebrate. You didn't need a dealer.
Yeah. And it's everywhere, and it's acceptable. If I wanted to drink 5 drinks before I go to and just have one at the party, it's like, it looks like he doesn't have a problem.
Did you think you were holding it together?
For a while. Definitely the last couple of years I haven't been, but and it was obvious just in my face, just dark circles. I looked like a raccoon. I mean, I looked like I had an illness or something, but I was pretty functional for a long time, and pretty good at hiding it. And I don't say that from my own perspective. I've had people tell me that. And I think that's the worst, because then you can get away with it longer and just do more damage and, get deeper into it. Like, I wish I had been caught earlier.
So when I was there November 1st, how long had you been there? Because your dad was there that day.
Yeah. I'd probably been there 2 months. That was the start of my 3rd month.
Okay. Do you know that? So we're 6 weeks from since I'd seen you, and I hadn't seen you in years. This is even Jack Dowden 2.0, because the boy I saw November 1st still had shame on his face.
Well, and I'm definitely still dealing with that. That's a long process, but it's a lot less than what it was. I mean, even my mom has come up and just, people keep telling me that I seem different. I don't feel like I've gotten over it more than I have, but it's apparently people see a change. But
the joy of the Lord is your strength.
I think that's it.
It shows, even if you said nothing. I mean, you hadn't been anywhere. I can see now your countenance is different from when I saw you November 1st, and this is December the 9th. So obviously there's some changes. What do you see yourself doing when your 6 months is up?
So that's actually what I've been thinking about a little bit now that I've approached my 4th month. But at least for right now, I've been telling myself, one of the parables that they teach a lot here is the soils, the rocky path,
right.
And I think when I start thinking about those things, I'm the one with the brambles, where I'm starting to get the word of God here, but those thorns job, how, it's these worldly concerns. And actually one of my favorite little passages is Matthew 6 and the cure for anxiety, and it's 33. That's seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be provided to you. And so just kind of my priority right now is seeking Jesus, establishing that relationship, and things will be provided. It may not be the way I want, it may not be as much as I want, but it will work out. So, and I have to have faith in that. And that's
What do you want to be now when the new Jack grows up?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. I have no plans for it. Just gonna kind of see what doors open and see what I'm called to.
Because some people do stay there after the 6 months and they're instructors, right?
They do. I don't think that life would be for me right now.
But you don't know. You never
yeah,
thought this life would be for you.
exactly. So if 3 months, 4 months ago or whatever, if you told me I would be living at a Jesus camp and not miserable, I'd be like, you're crazy. So I don't know. And my way again has not been doesn't have the best record. So I'm not leaning on what I think right now.
Okay, someone listening that's in the same shoes Jack Dowden was just a few months ago, what would you do to encourage him to make the call?
I mean, basically just look at your life and look at how you're feeling. You're miserable. And do you want to keep being miserable? Because when
Did you know you were miserable, though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you knew it. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone here who's been at that point, they know they're miserable, but you're so in it that temporary relief that whatever you're doing is, and sometimes it's not even relief, it's just getting you back to baseline. It's getting you just less miserable. I mean, but you're still in misery. I mean, there are so many people here that, to someone who comes here, there are people that have done more than you have and less than you have. I mean, you are redeemable, and there's no amount that you can go that Jesus cannot forgive you and that this cannot work for you. I mean, it can work if you are willing, if you are ready, and if you will surrender. And if you told me that I would surrender, I still have to do that every day because I still fall back into old ways. It's an everyday thing that you have to do. And if you're willing to do that, if you're ready for that, to have a change, then this is the place for you. It's hard and they'll get on to you, but ultimately their goal here is to help you and show you that way so that you can then choose that for yourself and take that out in the world and show others. You
are redeemable. That's a beautiful thing to remember from this first episode of the podcast here at John 3:16 Ministries. Jack, thanks for doing this. Great job today, buddy.
Thank you so much, Miss Lisa.
Thank you for joining us for the John 3:16 Stories of Hope podcast, highlighting the community at John 3:16 Ministries in Charlotte, Arkansas. Be sure to share the episode. If you need more information, hop on their website, john316thecure.com, or find them on social media.